So who am I? Well, for starters, my friends call me Rose. You give roses to the people you care about, and I started out giving paintings to the people I care about. Rose is a nickname, but it's a play on words about giving a piece of your heart to someone. I just graduated with a Bachelor's of Integrated Studies in Cinema, Media Arts Production, Business, and IT. It took almost 9 years. You can decide if the two I took off for COVID count or not, but I would not have given up that experience. So why did I choose to have 3 majors instead of just one? Well, CMAP is my school's version of film, and everyone with a film degree also wants to be in film, so I had to stand out. Another cool thing about my degree was how it would integrate each major into each other. I might have been taking an IT class, but I could incorporate art somehow. During business class presentations, I would utilize CMAP to make videos to include in the slides. Now, how do I apply this to real life? It's easy. I look for patterns, just situations that are familiar to each other and how the solution to one problem can be used to solve another. There's a method of the madness, an art, if you will. Most artists live a life of chaos because they're juggling multiple things in their life. There's work and bills, family, friends, sometimes school, and hobbies, and of course, our passions in art. I personally juggle 2 jobs, a car payment and insurance, friends, mental health, side gigs, hobbies, and of course, my art. Am I good at keeping up with everything? Definitely not. I put the struggle in struggling artist, and some days it's a win if I can just brush my teeth. That's not to say it isn't possible. My last year of school, I managed to juggle 5 classes, 2 jobs, homework, projects, a psychologically abusive relationship, extracurriculars, mental health, side gigs, and of course, the outrageous cost that is my car. Was it worth it? The degree was. So what am I doing with my degree? I work in a photography studio during the week, and on the weekends I work at a restaurant that I've worked at for almost 3 years. Have you ever had a job that you just like too much to give up? Just me? I guess I'm a little weird. I've also sold paintings for years. When the pandemic shut down the restaurant that I was working at, I started selling fan art paintings for $10. Somehow I sold enough, I guess with tips too, that I bought a car. Sure, I totaled the car a month later, but I proved it could be done. In recent years, I've added photography to my skill set. I started doing photography at the restaurant I work at to build my portfolio. My boss there is truly a blessing. This started giving me connections to be able to do photography gigs around the community a little more. Now, did I have these skills in high school? No, I was learning them, but I definitely didn't have them. I had an interest. In high school, I was part of performing arts. Most of my time was spent in the chorus room doing small groups, show choir, and of course the actual chorus. I enjoyed drama class as well, but I wasn't really allowed to join the club. My mom thought having an outlet was a bad idea for some reason. In my senior year of high school, we did Annie for a spring musical, and I was happy just to be a part of the ensemble, but I ended up getting a solo in the number We'd Like to Thank You, Herbert Hoover. Then I would go home and spend my days watching anime or playing video games. As a kid, I enjoyed drawing and creating art, but a lot of kids lose that interest in middle school. It was seen as immature, but I still had an interest. I enjoyed looking at character designs, and I wanted to be a fashion designer when I was small. Maybe I could draw like that. Now, staying inside all day gets lonely. Unless it was a school-related function, I was rarely out of the house. Eventually, your friends start inviting you to things after a while, and then you're stuck scrolling on Facebook all day just wishing you could be social too. At least there's funny memes. But who creates them? I had an interest in Hunger Games and Harry Potter and Disney and Kingdom Hearts and so many other fandoms, as we called them. Every so often a fan page would put out a calling asking for another admin to create post and content, and one day I was curious and decided to see what would happen. Started managing a Hunger Games page after that. Eventually, I ended up managing 6 different social media accounts as a teenager, and somehow amassed 50K in followers. If only I knew what I had back then. It was cringe, though. I would spend entire days creating memes and learning how to Photoshop with free internet browser softwares. I could make a screenshot look like a completely new scene and play jokes on my followers, having them think they missed an important plot point from a video game. Sometimes I still see my memes circulating and cringe, like, oops, I made that. But I guess you're supposed to be cringe at 16. So who am I? I'm an artist, but I'm also a server. I'm a graduate. I'm a huge nerd. I'm a painter. I'm a photographer. Sometimes I'm funny. I'm somewhat smart. I care about people. Way too much. There's a lot more that goes into being an artist than just making art. Mommy, I want to be an artist. And a lot of people worry about bills, but I would worry more about the heartache. Artists see the world differently, and that's different from artist to artist. We can empathize with places we've never physically been, or even seen for ourselves. We can feel emotions without having to put ourselves in emotional states. Artists connect to the raw vulnerability of humanity, and it can drive us crazy. But when a mother looks at a picture of her child and smiles, it's worth it. When a friend hangs up a new painting because they're too old for posters but they still like nerd culture, it's worth it. Getting to see John Cena on set and being too scared to say hi, it's worth it. He's also a lot smaller in person than I thought. Being able to live out a dream, it's worth it.